biggest fear?
I suppose it was sort of if you're going to meet enough people, or I mean, for us it was easy, well, not really easy, but it was good having each other when we arrived.
Yeah.
But I don't really, besides, yeah, it's making friends, I reckon. But also like grades, like what, you're not really sure what to expect with American classes here compared to home.
I'd say also, even just like I've never lived, like I've travelled a lot and for like a long amounts of time, but I've never like lived out of home. So I think it was just going to be like a bit of an adjustment period, but it was fine. It wasn't any dramas at all. It was good.
My biggest fear before arriving was all the small talk I'm gonna have to do, because that's not a thing in Finland. So. But I managed with that, so I think I did good with that.
My biggest fear was like I'm alone here. I didn't know anybody, so I came alone from my university. Some people are like together here. Yeah, I was just a bit afraid to not meet a lot of nice people, but actually it was totally different.
I was really scared of using English because I'm not good at speaking English. But when I arrived here, I had no problem communicating with others, so that's good.
The whole age thing, I was not going to be like legally allowed to go out and stuff, which you can do straight away from in England, so I thought that was going to be like a big problem with making friends and stuff like that, but it's sound. It's worked out pretty well.
I wouldn't say it was a fear, but I didn't know like what standard the university had for the studying, how tough it was going to be.
How have you found it?
Easy, but it's a lot of context to apprehend, so it's a lot of studying, but not difficult. It just takes time.
I guess not making friends or like having trouble forming connections with like British students and not knowing like the culture as well as, you know, obviously at home. But yeah, I'd say like just making those connections with professors as well, because I think that's important to do for classes and making connections like professionally.
I guess my biggest fear was actually speaking English, because I know I can, but I've never really tried. So communicating with people, that was my biggest fear.
How have you found it?
It took maybe a semester or 2 semesters to actually get in the habit of speaking, because English is my second language.
But now you're fine?
Yeah, now I'm fine, obviously.
My biggest fear was definitely having a roommate, because in England no one really shares a room, but it was okay. I got through it, I'm still here.
My biggest fear before arriving would probably be just like not suiting American college life, just because like at home everything's kind of different in like Cape Town. And I honestly just kind of was scared the classes would be too hard for me in some areas, which they didn't turn out to be at all, so that was cool.
My biggest fear before arriving would be that I was going to be lonely over here and not really like it and be totally homesick, and then I wanted to go home.
Did that
my biggest
happen?
fear. Not at all. Not at all.
Losing my clothes on the way. I don't know. Fears. I didn't have any fears. I was more excited. Of course, it's kind of scary to leave your own reality to go to a new one, but I think that fear portrays itself as just like excitement, because there's nothing to be afraid about. It's a new experience. It's only good.